This is Dan Dicks here reporting for Press for Truth with breaking news. The mayor of Beaconsfield has just passed a motion asking Montreal to reinstate fluoridation. The mayor calls the unilateral decision to end the treatment an insult to those who have been drinking fluoridated water for decades. Guys, in case you didn't know, last week I reported on this. Montreal is phasing out fluoride after a federal judge rules it's a neurotoxin in historic lawsuit. This was a federal court in the United States that ordered the Environmental Protection Agency to take regulatory action addressing a fluoride risk in the drinking water. And what's the risk, you may be asking? Oh, just how high fluoride levels are linked to lower IQ in children. This is obviously a very big deal, so people in Montreal took notice, and they decided they were going to start phasing out water fluoridation for the West Island. They wanted to do this by 2025, and now the mayor of Beaconsfield has just chimed in saying he wants to reinstate the fluoride. This man is clearly consuming far too much of what he wants to push on everybody else there in Montreal, guys. So we're going to talk about all of this and much, much more in this video. But really quickly, guys, before we do, I'd ask that you check me out here at subscribestar.com/pressfortruth. If you appreciate my efforts to bring you this info, guys, here you can sign up for $5 a month or $10 a month or 20, whatever is within your means is very greatly appreciated, guys. I can't continue to do this work without the support that comes directly from you, the viewers. So if that's something you appreciate and something you want to get involved in, please check the top link in the description below to where you can find me here on subscribestar.com/pressfortruth. All right, let's take a quick look at this report for a quick recap here on how high fluoride levels are linked to lower IQ in children. Fluoride is oftentimes added to communities' water supply to help residents ward off cavities. But a new report found that too much fluoride could be dangerous for kids' health. An August report by the National Toxicology Program at the Department of Health and Human Services found that lower IQ in kids has been linked to drinking water with fluoride levels 2 times higher than what the HHS deems safe. We see here, this is the first report of its kind from a government agency to make a determination about whether fluoride exposure can reduce child IQ. This is coming from Dr. Ashley Mallon, an assistant professor of epidemiology at the University of Florida. In case you guys didn't know, Dr. Ashley Mallon, as we see here, is someone who I actually interviewed over a decade ago about all of this. I'm on video interviewing this doctor right here, Dr. Ashley Mallon, 11 years ago in this video here where she tells me that fluoride is a toxin that's potentially dangerous for the developmental issues in children. Again, like this is wild. This is, you know, one of the people who was involved in this report and this study, who was telling me this stuff 10 years ago. Check it out. We'll watch this real quick. Why should people be concerned with having fluoride in the water?
Well, for many reasons. Firstly, it's actually toxic waste from the phosphate fertilizer industry. This isn't pharmaceutical grade fluoride. This isn't calcium fluoride. This is a toxic waste byproduct. It has arsenic, lead, mercury, and radioactive substances in it. It's been associated with lowered IQ, cancer, and so many other health effects.
Now, the government's telling us that they're doing this for the benefit of our teeth. Is drinking fluoridated water healthy for our teeth?
Definitely not. No. We just posted a link to dental decay rates around the world in fluoridated versus non-fluoridated countries.
Please ignore the music.
And you will find right away that both fluoridated...
Again, this is over a decade-old video. I used to put like a lot of music in the background of my videos. I don't really do that much anymore, but and you'll notice here it says this is 5 years ago. That's actually just when the video was archived to BitChute. Again, this is an 11-year-old video.
And non-fluoridated countries are seeing a downward trend of tooth decay around the world. Fluoride has absolutely nothing to do with teeth. Zero. Fluoride has everything to do with toxic waste disposal. Certain companies making a lot of money, and unfortunately, this is all happening to the detriment of our health.
So what's being added into our water is hydrofluorosilicic acid. That is the chemical that's been associated with a lot of adverse health effects, and that is toxic waste from phosphate fertilizer production. Sodium fluoride is what's generally found in toothpaste. Again, that is a neurotoxin. It's, I think, a level 3 poison, and that's been associated with, obviously, with adverse health effects.
There's been a lot of talk about fluoride quite literally dumbing down society. What do you know about how fluoride can affect people's brains?
That's a very scary thought, and unfortunately, there is some scientific evidence behind that to show that fluoride has been dumbing people down. And in a Harvard study was done, a very large study was done to show the difference between fluoridated and non-fluoridated communities in China and what effect fluoride was having on children. They found up to a 7-point IQ reduction in those children exposed to high amounts of fluoride.
There it is. This is an 11-year-old video where we're talking about how high levels of fluoride are leading to a reduced levels of IQ in children. Here we are in October of 2024 now with these reports coming out, and again, this is posing a serious risk, particularly the neurodevelopmental harm in children. This led to Montreal choosing to want to phase it out after seeing this report. And that, in turn, led to this Beaconsfield mayor saying he wants to put it back in, or at least to stop them from trying to take it out, calling it an insult to fluoride drinkers everywhere. So let's check this out. An angry and defeatist George Burrell said Friday he doesn't hold out much hope that the city will reverse its decision to end fluoridation at the Pointe Claire and Deauville water treatment plants. Burrell, the mayor of Beaconsfield, said Montreal's decision to cut the program that has been in place for decades amounts to an insult to the demerged cities. Fluoride has been found to reduce cavities in children. Dude, it's also been found to have neurological development issues in children and to be affecting their IQ. I think that might kind of trump the whole it's stopping cavities thing. Montreal made a decision without any consultation or discussion, either with the cities or the residents. Yeah, that wasn't really in place either when the city decided to put it in the first place. He said this in a phone interview on Friday. It's an insult to the population of Beaconsfield and all the cities that are getting fluoride in their water. He says it's completely wrong. He says there's no scientific reason to do what they're doing. Actually, there is a very good scientific reason to do what they're doing, as has been shown in that report. Now, guys, it's tough to say where this is going to go with this. I've seen this kind of stuff go back and forth many times over the years of covering this. This happened way back in 2013. Fluoride was no longer going to be added to Windsor, Ontario's drinking water supply. And then just 5 years later, guys, in 2018, Windsor to put fluoride back into the water after a council vote. Council voted 8-3 back in 2013 to remove it, and then they voted 8-3 in 2018 to put it back in. And in case you didn't know, here's how it all breaks down for all the provinces and territories, and the amount of fluoride that's in their systems. Ontario is the highest, where we see that's where Windsor is. 73% of the water in Ontario is fluoridated, and you see the best drinking water, according to this, is found in Newfoundland, Labrador, and the Yukon, where 0% of their water is fluoridated. But again, it remains to be seen what's going to happen with Montreal, as they're currently in this process of going back and forth, and the mayor's trying to, pass this motion to have it reinstated, and others want it taken out. So sometimes you get good mayors and governors, and sometimes you don't. And this reminds me of the time that I once spoke with former Governor Jesse Ventura. I was having a conversation with the guy just about the New World Order in general, and out of nowhere he brings up water fluoridation. And he starts to explain that this is the reason why people are being dumbed down. This is, again, former governor Jesse Ventura. This is him bringing up the issue of fluoride to me. Again, this is also an 11-year-old video. Check it out. Here's Governor Jesse Ventura, former governor, just out of nowhere bringing up fluoride in a conversation I was having with him.
I've warned people the problem may be the water.
How so?
Well, I've only drank well water, not by choice, but all the homes I've had, I've drank my own well water. And when I was doing conspiracy theory, I learned something very alarming. I learned about fluoride. And fluoride was made mandatory to help our teeth. And I thought to myself, well, why does the government need to worry about our teeth? Isn't that our mom and dad's job?
Yeah.
Teach you how to brush your teeth and use mouthwash?
Yeah, I don't like the idea of forced medication by the government, especially when they don't...
They forced fluoride in the water, and I did research on it and found out the first people to put fluoride in water were the Nazis. And I thought, wow, why would we want to do anything the Nazis do?
Yeah.
You know, I don't particularly adhere to any type of Nazi teachings. And I thought, why would we do what Nazis do until I found out fluoride is the major ingredient in Prozac. So everybody that drinks fluoridated water, in essence, is drinking liquid Prozac. And what does Prozac do to you? It dumbs you down. It makes you non-emotional.
That's right.
Maybe that's the deal.
Yeah.
It's in the water.
Yeah.
And that's why I am who I am. I haven't been drinking the fluoride.
There you go again. Over a decade ago, I'm talking with this former governor, who understands that fluoride is literally dumbing people down. Fast forward over a decade, and now we have this report out that concludes there is a link to lower IQ in children and higher levels of fluoride. So again, I just covered this last week, talking about the good news that Montreal was phasing out fluoride, and now we have this douchebag trying to ensure that that doesn't happen. So it remains to be seen what's going to happen. Hopefully they don't go the way of Windsor, Ontario, who, once voted it out and then voted it back in. But I'm certainly going to continue to cover this as it develops, guys. Once again, if you appreciate my efforts to do so, don't forget to check me out here at subscribestar.com/pressfortruth. Again, you can check the top link in the description below on whatever video platform you happen to be watching this video on today. And that's all for today, guys. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to click the thumbs up button, share this video, and stay tuned, guys. We're going to have more video reports coming soon. This is Dan Dicks reporting for Press for Truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you free.